Hi, my name is SGann1. First, I'm going to discuss my nervous self-inventory. Secondly, we'll talk about the different types of plagiarism. Finally, I will list the penalties for plagiarism. Here's my nervous self-inventory. Yes, I would have to say that giving a speech to a large group would be at the top of my list of nervous situations. I have in the past sang solos at my local church, and yes, that's probably the top of the list. That would be the worst thing, having to sing in front of a crowd with a solo. I have been a deacon at my local church, and that again is a very nerve-wracking situation. They have times that I would have to come down and pray, have the opening prayer. And people are watching, people are listening. I mean, I was in the crowd listening, doing the same thing. And, you know, it's a time of worship, but yet um, people still will kind of judge you on some things. I teach a Sunday school class at a local uh, assisted living place here in town, Memory Lane. I usually have anywhere from 13 to 18 folks show up for that. And it's really not that nerve-wracking, I suppose, since it's mostly the same people every week. I have a piano player that comes with me, and we don't do a lot of practicing. We kind of do a lot of ad-lib and just jumping right in there and singing some stuff, and it's all well and good until I have somebody that I don't know or somebody that comes in to visit some folks, and they want to sit in and listen and watch, and then it kind of puts me on the spot a little bit, and that gives me some nervous tension. But if I just keep going, if I just keep plowing through it, those things just go away. The butterflies just seem to go away, and everything turns out fine. It's just people, it's just folks there, and if I make a mistake, that's just the way it is. And I have made plenty of mistakes, believe me, trying to sing some songs that are really too high for me. But anyway, there are several different types of plagiarism. Global plagiarism is when someone takes a speech in its entirety and makes it their own without giving any credit whatsoever to the owner. A patchwork plagiarism is when someone takes different pieces from different speeches to create a speech, and that is plagiarism. And then there is incremental plagiarism, and this is when an individual doesn't even or fails to give credit to parts of their speech that were borrowed. So that's incremental plagiarism. Now there's four things that our book asks us to take note of to avoid plagiarism. And this is to record the title of the internet document, the author or the organization responsible for that document, the date the document was last updated, and lastly, the date that the user accessed that information, or the person that accessed that information. So those are the four things to help us avoid that plagiarism. There's also a couple of things too. A person would also need to specify the author and the website. Those are the two other things that were mentioned. Now, as far as the penalties, there are several penalties for plagiarism in the syllabus, and these are taken directly from our college policy. And I quote, "Any non-original work will result in failure of the assignment and possibly the course. Appropriate action including referral to the student judicial board for a disciplinary hearing and possibly expulsion from school." if a student is involved in academic dishonesty. I personally have read this, I've looked through this, I've taken the plagiarism test from the state of Illinois, I think, the College of Illinois, went through that, and I've done the plagiarism thing, and I do understand. I understand that plagiarism isn't a good thing. Personally, I'm a photographer, and I know the deal with copywriting, and people take my stuff that I have photographed and they have copied it. It has their kid's image on it, but they take it to Walmart and scan it in, or they'll do it at home just to get those extra copies. Well, that is copywriting. That's copyrighted material. I could take these people to court. I could sue these people. I have actually been into a house where a person has done this, and I have seen it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you just stole some stuff from me, buddy. But what do you do? I mean, am I really gonna file charges or put this person in jail? I guess I wouldn't, but plagiarism is a very, very serious offense, and I do realize the penalties for those actions. In review, first I discussed my nervous self inventory. Secondly, I talked about the different types of plagiarism. And then finally, I listed the penalties for plagiarism. Thank you.